Good afternoon, traders. This is I'm AJ of AJ Trader 7 of Awesomecallstrading.com. I want to welcome you to today's webinar, and on November 7th, 2018. Nice to hear and see everyone pretty much out there that voted, and you could see the reaction in the market was very positive today, and it was really good to see that. And the market's explosive today, around up 400 points. There was, I mean, you can literally look at any stock out there this morning, and it was just gapping up. I mean, tech stocks were gapping, and it was a what we call a smorgasbord of just massive gap ups. And the mods in here found quite a few, and I just kind of went after, you know, uh, what I saw that was exciting, big gap ups, and I just kind of went after them. So I want to show you the setups that we did. A lot of stuff was gapping down on poor earnings, and so we really had to wait for the right moment to get in some of these trades. And but overall, it was just a really nice morning session. And morning session is really good because we a lot of traders come in. The part-time traders come in sometimes in the morning, then they go to work, so they're looking for that quick buck that they can make in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the opening bell. And then throughout the day, we get the swing traders in, the part-time traders in, asking, hey, do you see something for a swing? And we accommodate them when we find something. At the same token, we got the morning crew that comes in here is just, they're all, I mean, most of the morning crew are full-time traders that come in here, and they're nailing $500, $600, $800. And what's nice about Awesome Calls and the family that we have in here, we have just a tremendous amount of people that love, and this is my Twitter feed, AJ Trader 7, and every morning they'll just send out their love, what they traded, trades here. And I want to, B Trades gave some great alerts. Steve B did good, shorting FOMX, and Brian, of course, and they put their P&Ls up so everyone can see them, which is really nice. I want to also give a shout out to Sniper Trades, Holly. Holly did a nice tweet today. She bought one of our stocks that we picked, and I played this stock live in the room. And she made $1,000 only buying 150 shares. And yesterday I was really emphasizing, and I put it as a pinned tweet to kind of just show you really that you don't need much money to make money in a room of this quality. And this is a perfect example of, I made this a pinned tweet for a lot of you that aren't in a room yet that listened to the webinar. Yesterday I did a stock called MBIX, and the stock ran 8 to 10 points in literally 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the opening bell. And I just broke it down for you so you could see that if you took 50 shares, and I think this tweet is probably why Sniper Trades or Holly took the trade, because it's things like this when you really break it down and you see it, and then you see the trade work. It's the most exciting thing. And for Holly to make $1,000 and make 10 points, 8 points on a trade, it is the most amazing feeling in the world. And if you look at it on this $100 stock, if you have $850 in cash, that's all you have, less than $1,000, and you go to a platform that gives you 6 times buying power, that's about $6,000 to work with, okay? And if you bought, let's say, a stock that's $100, and I told you to buy 50 shares, that's about $5,000 of buying power, correct? So with $5,000 buying power, once the stock moves 5, 6, 8 points, multiply that 50 times 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, a stock that runs 10, that's $500. So if you really think about it, your $850 in a bank account is not making you any money. But in a quality room, with the quality alert, with the quality trade, with the backing of the moderator behind you, telling you when to get in and what to expect, you can literally make $500 on $850. Even if you didn't and you made $300, that's still $300 return on $850. So when traders say, I can't trade big cap stocks, you really need to stop and think for a second. Yes, you can. Your mindset is, you don't want to, or you don't know how to, or you're not in a room that allows you. But at the same token, you might have the same mindset and and put all your money in a small cap $2 stock and hope to get 30 cents. And if it drops 50 cents, you're broke. Well, we don't operate like that in here. This room is designed to make a trader profitable every single day, whether it's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. That's it. This morning, I personally presented a bunch of trades. I'm live trading alongside the traders in the room. Every call is announced. Every idea is announced. And these were the trades that I got in, as you can see. I traded INGN, NBLX, IAC. Actually, NBLX, I couldn't get any. I traded IEC, traded Match, but my main player was INGN. And in return for today's action, I made $2,267. And that's what I did. So I want to show you the setups that we did. And every morning, as you know, Awesomecallstrading.com does a pre-market pick game plan. Most chat rooms will not do something like this. They kind of just talk. Well, this could go, and if you're not writing things down, you're kind of screwed, because they're talking about 5-6 things, and oh yeah, that could go there. Yeah, I would look at that, and it's like, okay, no, I need a game plan. I need you to write it down, and you'll notice more and more, a lot of chat rooms they really try to copy and emulate everything we do in here, because a true professional trader, or a trader really, a retirement couple, somebody with 50, 100 grand in the bank, this is the kind of room that's designed for them. This is the room they'll come into. People that, literally love the idea of trading, have a lot of money. And then there are some that come in with very little money, but want to learn how to trade. So while they build their capital, they can learn the right way to trade. And that's where Awesome Calls Trading comes in. That's where our forte is. We help that trader develop a skill level, whether they're trading equity or options. You could, whatever our calls are, you can take them on the equity side or the option side. I trade preferably equity, and that's why Levi at Stock Hunter Options trades his entire room trades nothing but options in there. And they have hundreds of traders in there, so it's an amazing experience. But with that being said, I want to kind of show you some setups that we did. And what I do is I basically every day I get up, I spend hours pre-market, and I look and I go through and I start to find plays. And I always write a minimum of 10 with an additional 1 to 2. And today I gave actually 15 plays today. It was just crazy. I had to, there was just so much out there. And what this does is I usually on my notes, I start with the cheaper stocks, $4. I move up to 19 to 20, 30s, 40s, 50s, 70s. I just work my way downwards, 190, 200. And this way it gives the trader an option, because a lot of traders come from all over. I don't know what their bank accounts look like. I don't know what their platforms, how much money they're working with. I simply just try to give them something that suits them. And if I give them a stock with a lot of range is where you have 5, 10, 15, 20 points to work with. Even if they miss an initial move, they can definitely make money on the stock. So, I'm going to go over a few that we do in here. And at the same time I'm doing this, we have amazing moderators in here on this side of the world. And we have Janny Moore, who's a great short seller in the room. We have Raphael, who gives us his time when he's in here. He's an amazing small cap bio trader. He gave us Joan this morning. Yesterday he gave us Boxall. Every morning he provides some of the most amazing ideas. Dave the trader is just incredible. He's an alert magnet. He's been here over a year and a half. He finds quick stuff so fast, and he alerts the room. I love it. Doesn't really have a Twitter feed, doesn't want one. And then I have Fire Trader in here, great trader, great alerts. You'll see him. His name is Brad. He'll send out Brad Norman. He'll give you a bunch of tweet ideas, what he traded in the room. And of course, there's B Trades. B Trades is a momentum. He is on scan alerts. He uses TI. He's a phenomenal trader, and I'm really happy he's part of our great room. So, and of course, everyone knows that Levi runs the option room with Christian and Jamie and $10 and I believe Darkside. And Darkside's in here too. He switches from different rooms. He'll come in here and then go over there, and he's been very helpful in our room. So let's kind of go into what we looked at today. First on the list was FOMX, and I'm going to take you through the trade. And what I like to do is just quickly show you a snapshot of what I look at in the morning. So the first thing I do is I look at the gap up. All right, so I see a gap up, and then I start to read the news. And in this headline, they did a phase 3 clinical trial, all right, that got that did well, that met the primary endpoint. Unfortunately, in that headline, there was a particular word I did not like, and based off that, I called for a short. And so I basically said in pre-market notes, this is nothing more than a short at 550, and anything popping at the open towards 6, scale it all the way down and take it to 450 and under, and the stock hit 441. Full gap fill, and there's nothing big about this stock whatsoever, so in my eyes. Jeff Sessions just resigned. So this is news here. So let's see if we can't play some TRY now that Sessions is gone, because he has been a big advocate of the marijuana industry. Just misusing, but yeah. So you might want to just dabble a little bit, see if you can get a play on it, see if it moves up, and we'll see what happens. If not, then we'll just get rid of it. But Jeff Sessions is very big on he doesn't like the marijuana industry, but it's just too powerful an industry out there. So anyway, excuse me for a second. I'm making money as I'm doing this webinar, so just wait for a quick pop here. And see this 126, and I'm long. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and sell that while I'm in the middle. Okay, there we go. Okay, you hear that? I just made quite a bit of money. If it's okay with you. Yeah, I just I bought at 125.49 and I just sold at 126.62. So, and now it's 128. You see how these alerts work? This is exactly how it works in our room. This is a live trade. Now, did I sell too early? Of course I do. But you know what? I'm a winner. You see how happy I am? That's trading. So the alert comes in, and then I stop what I'm doing, and then I help the trader see the trade and let them know, hey, I would be long here. And now, voila. All right, now I can focus. I wanted to make money on this stock, so I just, that was nice. Thank you so much, PSK. PSK alerted the room. His name is Jason. He's an amazing trader in here, up and coming, going to be a phenomenal trader, if not already. He announced Jeff Sessions just resigned, and again, that is really, really, really essential into the marijuana industry. So he's been a very advocate of not allowing. So I went long here and popped it there and sold it there. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, so let's go back into our webinar here, FOMX. So that trade just worked itself out, came all the way back down, and there you go. Next trade that we have on our list of great trades that ideas this morning was ICHR. Now, ICHR was gapping down because of earnings, but before the stock would fall, I felt the stock would probably pop at the open towards 18, and then you could scale in short. So I wanted everyone to go long. As you could see, my pre-market notes said go long at $16.50. And there we go. So let's put it up here and show you how it worked. Stock was gapping down, as you can see, considerably. And I was looking for, what I would look for on stocks like this is for shorts to want to go in there and cover, at least come up a little bit, and then fade for the day. So what I was looking for was the pop at the open. So I told everyone to go long at $16.50. And then zoop, I was looking for 18, and the stock hit 1760, topped off, and then faded right back down below 16. So this is a really, really nice trade. I enjoyed that trade. All right. A lot of people didn't even see that. But what I try to do is, again, I try to give you something like if you only have $8,000 in buying power, I mean, you could play 500 shares at 1650. I give you the exact entry, and I gave you the exit. You made $500 in less than 38. Listen, look at the timeline. Ding, 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 ding. The bell rang. You bought 1650 right there, and the stock hit 1750 in literally 10 minutes. You made $500 on 8,000 buying power. It's as simple as that. There was nothing hard about that trade. You had to execute it. That was the only thing on your end that you had to do. The next trade that I liked was a stock called MB, Mind Body. I haven't traded Mind Body in about 5 years, but today I did. And the reason for it was because it missed on earnings, and I felt it was a good quality trade. And I felt that the stock would probably be a nice move to $28. So if you want to look how I wrote the morning notes on that one, again, this was presented before the market even opened, and then I went over it live. But I said I would take some in the long in the 24 level, anything in the 24 level, and look for a pop towards 27 to 28. Watch for topping on it and then short it. Okay, so I want you to watch it, how it worked out. Really a nice trade. Okay, and I think you'll be really, really impressed with this one. Okay, so here we go. Stock, ding, 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 ding. You can see it gapping down. AJ wanted a pop at the open towards 28. The stock ended up hitting 28.14 and topped off at 28.24 and then faded right back down to 26. So it gave everyone an opportunity to not only nail from 24 area to 28, that's a 3.5 point trade. So if you took 100 shares, you made $300. You popped it and then you just faded it. 5-point trade in literally less than 45 minutes of work. Really a nice setup on MB. Well executed trade. And again, as you go through my pre-market notes, you'll see I'm very, very adamant about what entries to start taking, what levels to get in, what to look for, watch for the pop, and then go ahead and short it. Let's do another one here called NBLX. This is another trade here, NBLX. Okay, this one had earnings, and it was gapping up considerably. And what I was looking for on that one was to go look for a pop at the open towards 44. So if you wanted to go long, you can get the quick pop and then sell it off to for a potential all-day fader. And that's really what I was after on something like that. So as you can see, as I'm doing this live webinar, I did leave a lot of money on the table on TLRY. This news on Jeff Sessions leaving is huge for the marijuana industry traders. So now I'm doing a webinar, so I can't keep stopping. But if I had kept my position, and what was my order? Let's see, my order was 125.49. You can see I left 4 points on the table. So if you take 250 shares and you do the math, okay? So anyway, it is what it is, but it should continue to. It's not good for short sellers. Let's put it that way. I think, and also with all the states that approved marijuana, TLRY is going to be the key company. So I see that stock just ramping right back through 150, 175, possibly $200 a share again. Okay, so let's continue on. The next stock that I had on the list was a stock called INGN. Now, I personally played this, and it was a very magical stock. I love it. And the reason why it got my attention this morning was the fact that the stock was INGN was gapping down. As you could see, it closed at $190 a share and was gapping down all the way down to $150. That's $40. That is a lot of money. That is an opportunity in Awesomecalls Trading. So I read the report, and I also noticed on my scans that on INGN, they were actually defending the stock. I believe it was that Needham was defending the stock. I saw it on briefing, and they were actually given it a price target of 280 from 295. So that really caught my attention to buy the weakness on the stock, and that's what we did. So I started taking some in pre-market. I kind of got premature in, but I did a nice ad at exactly, and you could see my screenshot of it. I did a nice ad at $144.87 down here. I took a starter, nibbled, and then I added down here with decent size, and voila. And I sold, I believe, at $158.33. And the stock actually ran all the way to 160. There were a lot of traders that made money on this trade. This was a magnificent trade. And a lot of traders don't trade pre-market, so they just kind of waited for the open. And when they heard me live ad at 144, a lot of them just went long at 146, 147, 148, 145. It just ramped, as you can see, to 155. And that is just an incredible trade. 100 shares, 14,000 buy power, 10 points to the upside. You do the math. That's $1,000 in your bank account. Just by, and I had to break even about right here to get this to make money. And as you can see, the stock actually ramped all the way up to 161. It was a really excellent play. So let's do another one. And again, this one was written right here. As you can see in pre-market notes, this was number 9. And if it pulls to 150 and under, look to add, and it hit 144. On these kind of stocks, you got to give it range. But once the range came, boy, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. I want to mention 2 other nice stocks that was really nice. I also want to mention TLRY. This was a notable call, as you can see right here. TLRY, I figured, was going to be a nice squeeze at the open towards about 115 to 117. So if you go right in the middle, it's about 116. Then I wanted a nice pullback to about 107. And then I wanted a bottom curl on it, and I wanted you to nail it all the way to 120. And that was the play today, because I saw it gapping up over almost 8 to 10 points, and that tells me the stock's in play again. And so what I wanted to do here was take TLRY, as you can see. And this was pre-market. This was one of the first calls that I put out. And now I want you to see how it worked out. Okay, this is TLRY. You see the gap up? And now you can see TLRY is now 131. Again, I cannot stress enough. I know our chat room is playing it. If you're not, you need to understand this stock is a marijuana stock. Jeff Sessions was our Attorney General who did not endorse any kind of pot, cocaine, and basically he's out, which means the next ad probably in there is going to really want. This is great for the marijuana industry. TLRY is the leader. You got to go. So I'm doing the webinar. It's costing me money, but you know what? It's okay. You're actually seeing the trade work out. So this one, you can see the gap up right here, and from 106, and it gapped all the way up to 113. So that's a significant gap up. So what I thought the stock would do was probably pop at the open towards 115 to 116 from right here to 113. So I told the traders to go long. As you can see, the stock hit 116.77, which is pretty much right in between what I said, 115 and 117. Then I said the stock would yank and pull. So look for the yank and pull all the way down to 107. Stock ended up around 109. It did do a bottom curl, broke out this flag area right here, snapped here. Stock is now $131 a share. So ideally, the great long would have been right here, breaking out through this flag at 117. But we gave the traders an idea where to get into the stock. So it didn't hit our 107, but it gave enough for people, traders, to see that it had range in the stock. So taking it at 110, 109 was okay. And I was getting asked a lot in the chat room throughout the day. Should I go long here? Should I go long here? Should I go long here? Yes, it's going to fly. Don't worry. A bunch of states approved the marijuana legislation, so good for the company. Okay, stock is now 132. Next stock on our list that we did was TWLO. Now, this was a combination of both myself and Janny and in the room. Now, Mr. Kim, he's a great trader in here. He was literally done in, I think, 30 seconds. This was basically, this could have made everyone just a ton of money in about 30 seconds. Probably even less than that. But TWL had great earnings, and it gapped up from, as you can see, from 70 when the earnings got released. It already had hit 78, and in the morning it was even gapping up all the way 82, 13, 14. When you get a gap of that significant, you're going to get a play in it. I mean, there's no question you're going to get a play in it. And so what I look for is a nice squeeze at the open. Shorts are going to get just pummeled right at the open because they want to get the heck out. And what you have to do is you have to look at the amount of stock that's been traded. See all these traders in here? See all these bag holders? A lot of these are short sellers. And when they get earnings like that, they got to get out. So they're calling in their brokers, their people, and they're like, get me out, get me out. And what that does is it creates such a squeeze. In Awesomecalls Trading, we are really good on catching those squeezes. And it allows a trader to come in and make quick 5 to 10 points in just a matter of minutes. All right, and let me show you the idea that we had in the room. And here is the notes on TLRY. I'm sorry, on what was it? TWLO. And it was item number 8. Now, at the beginning, pre-market, I wanted a short to go down to 80. I thought that it would probably hit the 80 mark. If it went down to 75 and under, I would add into it because the stock, in my opinion, would rip. So the way I wrote it was this should a pre-market was a short from 84 to 80, but now let's see it pop again. This time through 86. So I was really emphasizing because the pre-market it already had come down 4 points. I said, you know what? Watch the pop at open at 86. Let it push, and then see if it starts to break down. If it breaks down, we'll get probably 75. If it doesn't, we're going to get more room to the upside. So I was really very clear in the room that it was going to pop right at the open. Okay, and as you can see on Twitter, one of the very first trades this particular trader did. This is Mr. Kim. I mean, right here, he even told you that he took TWLO right at the open, and he went long 80.68 right off the notes. I mean, it was just no hesitation. It was done, and he gave him his 86. You see how that's how traders come in. That's how they make their money, and they tweet it out because they're proud, right? So now let's go to the chart, and you could see it. It just really emphasized the first 2 minutes of the opening bell. Here's the 80.50, and here's 86. Right there. So literally, if you took 50 shares, you made $300. If you took, which is 4,000 buying power. If you took 100 shares, 8,000 buying power, you literally just ripped it. You have to understand, when you're trading stocks like this on earnings, and this is why we excel at earnings, okay, is when you have a pile, and I mean a pile of short sellers trying to think that the earnings are going to miss, and they don't, they need to get out. So you 15 chat rooms in here listening to me, and you all know who you are because you copy everything I do and everything I say. I mean, I think some of you worship me, so it's kind of sad because you can't trade, but you're all listening to me. Write that down so you can tell your subs that, you know, how you can sound smart to them, okay? Write it down. Just write it down. Listen to my recorded voice. It'll help you. But in Awesomecalls Trading, we've been doing this 5 years. This is what we do. So as you can see, the stock ended up just with the guidance of, we had a few shorts in here, but we were just emphasizing to leave it alone. And right now, I'm looking to short at 98 with room to 100 because multiple upgrades have pushed this stock up here. I do think the stock will break, maybe not until the last 30 minutes of the market. Okay, and then just two more quick ones. I'll just recap. ZG and this is Zillow, and Zillow had pretty poor earnings on guidance, and I think their CFO left, which caused a nice massive sell-off. So this morning, my emphasis was to play the bounce, play the short covering bounce, and that's really all I wanted. So I looked at the 31 level as a start to go long on any pullback, and then room to 30 to add. And if you did that, you had a 30-50 to 31 average on both these stocks. And I made it clear on both of them that they're both, because they trade the same way. It's like Under Armour and then Under Armour A. Okay, so all you had to do was look at the pre-market notes. It was the first emphasis I did this morning on the notes was right here. It says right here, down 8 points, take a few at 32, add at 30, have a 31 average, get 2 to 4 points to the upside. And so it was pretty much just grab, pull, and pop. So if you bought here, added here, you had an average, and you popped it. Grabbed here, averaged here, moved up, popped it. That's it. Trade was done. And we have a trader in here. He doesn't have a lot of money. And you know what? It doesn't take a lot of money. And the first thing he did was, and what I loved about this gentleman, his name is Robert Sean Smith. He's a great person in here. And, you know, he was so proud because, you know what? He was actually red $300 on the trade. And I told him to stay in it, that the stock would get back above the 32 level. And he did. And he made money. And I was so proud of him. And he's a lifer in here. What can I say? As long as we keep making him money. So anyway, that is today's webinar. And as you can see, just like I sacrificed to a lot of the traders in here, I sacrificed even doing this webinar because look how much money I left on the table on TLRY. Even I'm telling you live on a webinar to buy the stock, my 125.49 entry is now worth 10 points. This is what we do. But why I'm talking to you, everyone in the chat room has the opportunity to buy the stock. All right, and you can see the flag breakout. Again, I cannot emphasize enough. Jeff Sessions resigning is huge for the marijuana industry, and you got to witness this live. All right, so if you didn't take the trade, well, then what can I tell you? You know, it is what it is. All right, that's it for today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you again, and I look forward to you to being a part of our room tomorrow. And thank you. All right. Till then, bye-bye.